Hey there, I'm Phoebe from the Lift Perspective. I'm a white-skinned, short, brown-haired human with flecks of grey, green eyes, and black round-rimmed glasses, wearing a black t-shirt, standing against or leaning against the pole of a street sign, metal pole. And in the background you can see suburban houses. To the right is a street with a parked van and a car just coming down the street, and a gorgeous pink and yellow and blue sunrise. How you doing? Day 12 on the journey of 100 suns. Today's principle is self-care routine, but before I go there, I just want to let people know, being someone that works within the mental health reform and the disability advocacy community, there's a growing set of practices that we can apply when working with digital media. I'm learning as I go, and this is why I do image descriptions at the start of every video for people that have low vision. It's an opportunity for them to, have described to them what we otherwise take for granted, what we see with our eyes. Being someone who is deaf, and the gift of Zoom, I've come to love closed captioning as it is readily available now on that platform. It's not everywhere though, and actually on social media things are very, very hard in terms of being able to transcribe video vlogs, video explainers, this kind of thing that I've been doing. So what I'm trialing at the moment, and if you go back through the 100 Suns videos, you will see them in the first two this morning, but I'm going through a process of uploading each of these videos to a platform called Otter, and then that transcribes the audio. I then have to do a manual edit though, because the AI that does a transcription doesn't always get it right. It thinks sometimes my name is Peel. No, actually, I don't think it's ever thought my name is Peel. Sometimes it thinks it's Iffy Peel, Fair Pale. I've had some doozies, particularly when working with the podcast. So it is a little bit of slow work because I do have to do a manual edit once the transcription is done. But over the next few days, I'm going to go back through the 12 or so, slightly growing number of videos, transcribing it, and then I'm uploading the video to YouTube, and I'm putting the full transcription there. I can't actually have it on some of the social media platforms because there's character limits and word limits. But if you click where it'll say, for a transcription of this video, click here. If you click through, that'll take you through to the YouTube channel where you can actually get a transcription of each of the videos. And my plan is to go back and do it with the podcast vids from last year, and if we get the podcast up again, into the podcast in this year. But back to self-care routine. I encourage you to head over to Rich Evans at The Uncommon and find out what he's doing and why, while I wander along these ancestral unceded lands. I'm going to give you a sense of my self-care. So remembering that we're kind of progressing through the shape of the day, the end of the day, self-care is really important. And it's something that I think falls off the wagon a bit. I know for myself that when we do something with a regularity to it, when it's suddenly missing, you notice it. And yet, like anything that you have established as a pattern that works for you, when you pick it up again, it actually comes much more quickly than you think it does. They say it's like 2-3 weeks to establish a habit. if you drop it, you drop it. But it's amazing how quickly when you come back to that habit, it picks up like muscle memory. So for me, my self-care routine is actually getting into my jammies. I have a shower in the morning, so that's not a thing for me. I have these gorgeous big candles that I get from an artisan here in Canberra over at the bus depot markets called Lush. So I light a candle in my room. I have my incredible assistive technology bed that actually allows me to sit up in bed, and it also allows, can you see that? My knees to do this. The bottom part of it raises up. And so I sit there, I light a candle, I listen either to some soft jazz or some calming classical playlist on Spotify. I crochet. And if I'm going to bed a bit earlier and I know I'm quite wound up, I will read a chapter of a novel. Very deliberately don't read anything that's non-fiction because my brain goes, oh, let's solve the problems of the world. But something that's, completely calming, fantasy oriented, nothing that's going to be really heavy, that you just know it's kind of like watching TV, but it has the value add of not being TV. One of the things we know from research is that these babies, these screens, even a TV, the backlit nature of it means that our brains do not shut off. And there's also stuff about how it's interacting with our neural pathways that affects our sleep. And again, this isn't my field, but go Google because I can definitely tell you it's there. And scientifically evidence-based. When it comes to that kind of stuff in your room, if sleep is an issue for you, I'd encourage you to take any TV out of your room. My office is actually in my room because of our limits of space, but my computer is turned off. My phone is turned off. And it's just that extra signal that the day is done. I had, when I came back from Crest, been turning my phone off at 7. But when I go for these walks in the evening to find my sunset photos, that's more like 8:30 in the night. One of the things I've noticed really recently is that means the phone has been staying on with me. And so a few times now I've been chatting, texting with friends, and I'm going to bed later than I'd like. That's just a self-care practice for me. So as of tonight, I am going to post the photo on the way home because that's easy enough to do, and then turn the phone off, just to give my brain that signal that the day is done and the screens do not need to be on. So yes, today is my first morning walking without a mobility aid in a few days. However, I didn't get as far as I'd like. I was planning to take you guys down to Ainsley Oval. It's the second time now I've tried to film the sunrise down at Ainsley Oval, and I've not got it right. This time it was because I have a hole in the back pocket of these jeggings, and I put my hand down halfway up the street to just check that my keys were there, and they weren't. And I've had to turn around and come find them, and of course they're on the ground. And bending down onto the ground meant that I've certainly stretched my glutes, so I need to go home and rest, listening to my body. But that's it for me today. Head on over to the Uncommon if you want to check out what Rich is doing and why, and we'll catch you on the flip side.